Following on from the last video, blessed are the whingers, blessed are the laughterers, or those who laugh. This is about blessed are those who are funny, who are clowns for God. What do I mean by being a clown? Well, simply this: life is so serious for most of us. There are so many pressures on our shoulders today, particularly those who have lost their job, their marriage is broken up, they may be living with a life-threatening illness. There's not much to laugh about. But you know what's so amazing? I have been so privileged to nurse a good cross-section of society, excuse me, from the rich to the poor. And all I can say is they were my best teachers. They taught me so much about the person skills that I would need to tie me over in the difficult lean times. And though many of them are in spirit now, I thank God for the privilege that I have had in my life for meeting some amazing people. And what's so moving and touching, the ones who touched me the most were the ones who had very little in the eyes of the world. They were seen as the poor, the marginalized. Their laughter, their joy, their inner peace, their inner acceptance was music for my soul. I longed each time when I met with them. And on all the wards I've nursed on in my life, the different hospitals, on every ward there's always one that stands out, that draws you to them. And they're funny. And yet you know from their records that life has dished them an unpleasant deck of cards, but they make you feel special. And each day they're there and they're acting the clown. I believe that God wants clowns today. He wants people who will draw people, like the honey and the vinegar, the barrel of vinegar. We know that the spoon of honey attracts more flies than the barrel of vinegar. I believe today people are drawn to people who are funny. I don't mean necessarily that we must be a comedian 24/7, but to be at peace in our heart, and to take life not as serious, not to get sucked into the dramas of the world or the dramas of family and friends, not to be the eternal processor where you have to go to your head for permission to laugh, to be happy, to be still. Excuse me. And though I live the enclosed life, the contemplative life, it's a happy life. And there are times when I'm sat here on my own and I'm laughing away at myself. Now, if somebody was to come to the door and see me, they'd say, "You're certifiable." Maybe I am. So what makes people happy for God? What makes people want to become a clown? Well, I guess throughout my life I've always been a clown. I've gone to various parties or groups or meetings where you sense when you go in there's an atmosphere. And I've always gone in and acted the fool. I'd rather people laugh at me than call me. I'd rather be a fool if it makes the atmosphere brighter and lighter. And I believe God today wants more clowns, because really I see life as one big circus. We are all artists in our own right, in our own right. Some choose the elephant, big, heavy, solid. Some choose the monkey. Some choose the trampoline. Heaven help me, if I could on a trampoline, I'd burst it. But some prefer to just be the clown. And behind the mask, yes, there can be sadness. You could be battling with an incurable illness, but the mask that you present is to try and lift other people up. And that's what we've been called to do. We've been called to lift other people out of their misery and to give them hope. So if that's what it's all about, then count me in to be a clown. I'd rather be a clown for God than to be a miserable, unhappy fool. Because that's what leads people away from God. People who are so stern and manipulative and controlling. And I know various religions could do with lightening up a bit and making it more interesting and palatable instead of all of this heaviness and dourness. So many people have suffered in the name of religion, and God has been blamed for it. It is not God, it's man. It's you and me. So today we have a choice to step out of our comfort zone and become a clown, and to try and bring joy and laughter into the lives of those less fortunate than us. There's an old saying, isn't there? Oh, there's others worse off than me. Maybe that's true, but that doesn't say that we shouldn't be happy ourselves. Does it? Are you willing to take that leap of faith? Are you willing to come out of your comfort zone today and experience some joy? Are you willing to go to a party and instead of waiting on people to make a fuss of you and run after your every whim and fancy, which is quite selfish really, are you not willing to put yourself out? And even if it means making a fool of yourself, I don't mean getting drunk and behaving in an inappropriate way. I'm just saying to be giddy and silly and get people laughing. It does lighten the tone. And it does in community when we have a group together where we just behave like school kids. I know here when certain friends of our community come for our monthly interfaith service days, like the last one we had, when some of our community came from the northeast, it was just beautiful. We just hugged one another and loved one another. There was a lot of lovely banter. We had a laugh. It was light-hearted. It was funny. And you know, that's a prayer. So what would you choose? To kneel in a chapel before God, overstretched, desensitized, miserable, or to be happy? To be happy. Thank you for watching.